because nothing can be implemented. The only enforcer of decisions in the UN is the USA, right? The only enforcement mechanism is the Security Council, and anything that comes that's actually implemented by the Security Council has to go through the USA's veto. Ergo, the United Nations sits in New York, right? Is physically controlled. Like, who gets to come and speak at the UN is physically gatekeepered by the USA. If they decide your country's not sending anyone, your country's not sending anyone. You know, so they physically control it. They financially are the biggest contributor and are in a position, because everybody who works at the UN lives in New York. They have all kinds of mechanisms for controlling delegates, which we every now and again you hear about. You know, the pressures that are brought to bear on different people who work there in different situations. So this is being exposed. And I think the exposure of the UN's role as essentially the colonial office of the USA, as United States imperialism, as my dad used to call it, is one of the drivers of this new world order that we see rising. The fact that there are parallel institutions are being set up at an increasingly accelerated rate from a very kind of cautious beginning. There's an increasing sense by the rest of the world that if they want to get anything done for themselves in a just, equitable way that serves them and not the imperialists, they're going to have to do it separately. When you look at the ICJ verdict, what you're seeing is the pressure of world public opinion, that simply the facts are too clear to be denied, and if you don't reflect them, you're declaring your bankruptcy outright. But then, having reflected them, the fact that nothing can be implemented of your decision, because the United States holds, in fact, the only meaningful power in the United Nations, that becomes exposed before the world also. So along with trying to save the reputation of the United Nations by passing the verdict, but then losing the reputation of the United Nations, you know, in fact,